Ed Snyder here with Kansas Trapline Products. It is great to bring you another YouTube video, and this is the second one at the same location. This time I want to put in a flat set. I just put in a dirt hole set on location. It's located about 50 yards just down the hill from here. What I have here is I want to put in a flat set, and as I was following the set of tracks and how the coyote chose to move through the area, it was remarkable how the animal chose to walk exactly between this rock and this deadwood laying here. The animal's naturally flowing right up this drainage. Got some tall grass prairie where they're bedded down for the day, and they come out here to do their hunting and so on and so forth, just doing what coyotes do. I want to go with something more along the gland lure side to appease their natural breeding instinct during this time of year. This natural rock and stick that's already in the location is perfect for making a natural walkthrough set, a flat set, and it's also perfect because I don't have to dig through all that clay again and put in another dirt hole set. So stay with me, and I'm going to turn that around and I'm going to show us a flat set that I think that can work in your area just like it does in mine. So I'm on location. I have coyote tracks running right there between the rock and the deadwood. To begin a good flat set, what you're going to want to do is clear off the dry surface dirt, and it'll take some debris along with it. I even have some dry cattle manure here, which will help aid the set in as well. So let me go ahead. I'm going to put the trap. I'm not going to mess with moving anything. I'm going to put my gland lure right on that old nice knobby stick right there. And so let me go ahead and scrape it. And what you want to do is we got to make the area look big. So you're going to carry it out a little ways. Do the same thing the other direction. We're also going to use this dirt to help pack in our set when we're done. Okay, not bad. There we go. Nice big area for the coyote. He'll already be in the set before he knows it. So this being my spot, I'm looking to be about 8 inches out. And as it turns out, guess what? It's in the proximity of 8 inches out there as well. I'm trying to not have this dirt come flying away from a blended area. Let me move this out of the way. A lot of this will be thrown away. A little frozen, but I don't have to go down very deep, it being a flat set. And if you look at my T-bone set, it's made much in the same manner. Flat set's a flat set's a flat set to some degree. You just have to use your imagination, and it helps if you also understand that the animals are already walking here. When I was in Illinois or Missouri or Iowa, along the edge of the hedgerow, along the edge coming out of the timber into the cornfield or the bean field, inevitably you would see those animals tracks walking in a straight line. And this area is very open. They could go anywhere. The thing I like about it is he's already telling me this is how he wants to go. So if this was corn stubble and this was corn stubble, I would do the same thing. So yes, you're going to find raccoon tracks. You're going to find possum tracks, skunk tracks, fox tracks, bobcat tracks. They're going to use it much in the same way as they come through. But if you have the sign set right underneath of their feet, you can't beat a method like that. I'm going to go ahead and go down a little bit deeper here just so I can have a low spot for my chain to get into. And we'll go with this for now. Again, it's not quite as hard as digging in for a dirt hole set. Pull out my driver. a trapper named Joe Stambo made this driver for me, and I've used it a couple seasons, and it's fantastic. I've had to do a little welding on it, but you know, that's just dry ground. All right. Take it down to the swivel. A couple pops, it'll come right up. So there, that's done. Pull it. Now I don't need this real wet dirt. It's just going to freeze down. So just get it out of here. I'd be better off to go someplace else to get more dry dirt if I don't have enough, as I would to use that wet clay right there. Okay, got a nice bottom. Let me go ahead and set my trap and see if it's going to fit in there all right before I get too busy worrying about actually bedding it. The sun just isn't right for my eyes. It's a problem when you get older. All right, nice level. Let's see how it sits. What do I got to do? See, it's sitting up a little high. I still want it to be a good ½ inch below the ground. All I have to really do here is take out this edge right there, I think, and that's going to lower it down enough to where, yep, a nice ½ inch lower than the ground level. So I'm going to pitch this out of here, and let me get my dry dirt here, the stuff I scrape, and put some of that in the bottom. I know it looks counterproductive to dig it out and fill it back in, but what's going to happen, I'm making a divot for that trap chain to sit. And if you're having problems bedding your trap, especially on flat sets, it's a good chance that you're trying to bed your chain on top of the trap. The chain should fit underneath of the trap, and that's what that little conical divot is that I'm making, that the chain sits below the trap without interfering with it. Okay, now then, I'm a good 10 inches pan center, and I'm probably 10 inches pan center that direction. And I'm putting it right where the coyote's foot was. Now what I like to do, and I probably haven't mentioned it, I like to push see how it's wobbling? I like to take the free jaw side, and I'll kind of pull it to me. That helps make that free jaw solid. Now I'll just pack this in, especially on the back side. There we go. And we're going to want to make sure that everything on this trap is especially solid, because the animal is going to could potentially walk anywhere it wants to. Anywhere. Okay. See how solid this thing is? It's all, I mean, it's just ready to go. But a lot of it's because of me pulling that loose jaw against something solid, giving it already a firm base to plant itself into. All right, that's nice. What I'm going to also want to do is fill in the dead side of the trap. The trap from about right here up, it's not going to fire. It just can't do it. There's nothing there to really make it fire, and the cantilever position is just, it would just take a lot of poundage for that trap to drop. So what I do is I kind of fill in this back portion to give a little bit of added support to my screen wire, so that the coyote doesn't really feel anything to press. Fill that in just a little bit. I still want it below the jaw, guys. Don't go crazy to where you won't even fill that in, or where you end up coming over the top of the jaw. There we go. That's nice. Grab my pan cover, and you really want to make sure these things lay very flat. You don't need any humps on that, and that's perfect. I'll go ahead and cover this up using the dry dirt. Now I'm going to put quite a bit of dirt over this, because there's certain things that need to pack down. And find my whisk broom. There it is. Number one, you want to find your pan. There it is. You want to find the hot zone, right? And I'm kind of brushing it left and right over my spring levers. But the idea that I have is I don't want the coyote to feel a soft spot, especially on walkthrough sets. Whoops, started to budge. You don't want him to find a soft spot. When he walks up to this set, it should feel solid, and it shouldn't make him suspect anything that would make him want to start digging, feeling around, and that type of thing. Look how much I compacted that ground around it. Now, this being slightly unlevel and all that, there's nothing level here, so I'm okay with that. Something I might want to do, though, to help deter the coyote from going a little too far that direction, and there isn't a whole lot for me to work with right here, but here is a stick, and over here on the pan side, I'm going to kind of split the distance here. I'm just going to act as though that's just kind of sticking up before I do my final blending. Now I'm a few inches back, but I'm just trying to position that stick to where that coyote kind of stays this side of it, so this way when he goes to walk through that, he will to avoid the stick, he comes more over my trap. So alright, now the only thing left for me to do now, and also that stick serves as a marker as to where my actual dog is, where my dog location. Now I'm making big sweeps here, big sweeps. It needs to disappear. You're done. Alright. Don't be sitting there over one little spot and trying to do it. You won't blend in one spot. I'm pretty much done with my hammer. I'm done with my whisk broom. Now it's just total blending time. I'm going to gather up my drier dirt. I'm going to take my free hand, kind of wipe things out. Now, starting away from my trap, I'm going to work myself through it quickly and blend that back in. I need to do the same thing. I kind of brought this, I want the whole area to look blended, so I'm going to kind of lean back a little bit here. I'm going to brush this out, because it all needs to look about the same. Not just, no harsh edges. I'm going to come around the back side a little bit here. There we go. And last but not least, the final side with the free hand. I'm going to push that on out. This makes the area look bigger. Do the same thing. That helps age the set in. A day of Kansas wind, and we won't even see the changing color. All that's left for me right now is to go ahead and put some lure up. show you how I do that. The wind is actually kind of at my backside, so I'm at, in the event that the wind were to change, got a little bit of wool right there, I'll just stick it on there. In the event the wind were to change back toward the stick, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of Gland Lure on both sides. It ain't going to hurt nothing. And I'm using pants down Gland Lure. There we go. Kind of just smearing it right there. And you'll see me put a little bit right there on this stump. Right there, really nice. And although this is not coyote or fox scat, I actually did find some goose scat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of lay it right there beside that stick of mine. And what I'll do, I'll take some of my red fox urine. I'm going to re-soak that. I'm going to put a little bit on the stick and definitely want to put some up here. And that's it. We now have our second set in a series. I have the set completed. It looks good. Blended back 6 to 8 feet on both sides of the trap. There's nowhere to tell the coyote where the actual trap is. He's going to be moving through the area anyway. I think we're going to have a good chance of doubling up on this general location. Well, folks, we had ourselves a nice little sprinkling of rain, rain, freezing rain, and then it went to snow. So, very excited day to see my set still connected over the night. Had ourselves a nice catch here. Unfortunately, the coyote is a mangy coyote, and he has no fur value to him. But it does show the power that of what a trail set can do for you. The rock, the stick, it's all still right there. My dirt hole set to the right of the tree into the little hillside is still working, still intact. There's only the one set of prints, so this guy must have just decided to go ahead and move right after that storm passed through. And anyway, because we're not using a lot of dirt over the top of these trail sets and flat sets in general, this is why I believe the set's still connected. The dirt is still relatively dry there to some degree, and right now it has a lot of eye appeal. And the great thing about this is that it's going to continue to work for us. So he's got a lot of odor, a lot of smell. Probably looks like a young coyote, so possibly a litter mate may come along to investigate to say, where's old Frank at? So, but I'm going to go and remake this set. But until we meet again, I'm wishing you a shed full of fur.